Located on the northern bank of the Tagus River and the civil parish of Santa Maria de Belem in Lisbon, today we are going to visit Belem Tower. Welcome back. So as always, today we are going to visit a new European attraction, and what to say, today is the last episode of the second season of the European attraction. So let's get tuned with the video. Today we are going to look at Lisbon, at Belem Tower in particular, and let's talk first about the country, Portugal. So, Portugal is a country located mostly on the Iberian Peninsula in southwestern Europe, and it is the westmost sovereign state in mainland Europe, being bordered to the west and the south by the Atlantic Ocean, and to the north and east by Spain. Portugal, you may know it, is one of the oldest nation-states of the Iberian Peninsula and one of the oldest in Europe and the entire world. Its territory have been continuously settled down, invaded and fought over since the prehistoric time. So I'm not gonna tell you all the different nations that were in Portugal. In the 15th and 16th century, Portugal established the first global empire, becoming one of the world's major economic, political, and military powers. During this period that was called, that today we call the Age of Discovery, the Portuguese explorers pioneered maritime exploration, notably under royal patronage of Prince Harry, the navigator, and King John II, the king of Portugal at the time. At the time, Portugal was a monarchy. Today is a republic. With such voyage as the one of Bartolomé Diaz, sailing beyond the Cape of Good Hope, or Vaasco De Gama discovering the sea route to India, and the European discovery of Brazil. During this time, Portugal monopolized the spice trade, divided the world into hemispheres of dominion of the Castilla family, and the empire expanded with the military campaigns in Asia. That's why it was one of the main, or maybe the most major power at the time. However, even events such as the Lisbon Earthquake in the middle of the 18th century, and the country's occupation during the Napoleonic Wars, the independence of Brazil, and late the industrialization compared to the other European powers, were the cause why today Portugal is the country it is. It lost a lot of its power. The handover of Macau to China at the end of the 20th century was the sign that marked that was the end of what we can consider the longest-lived colonial empire. So Portugal, as you might understand, has left a profound cultural and architectural influence across the globe, and a legacy, of course, of several hundreds of million Portuguese speakers, like 250 about, and many Portuguese-based creoles. Today, it is a developed country with an advanced economy and high living standard, and It is placed high in rankings for moral freedoms, second position, peacefulness in the third position, and democracy at eighth position, and many others basic standard of livings, but not in the top 10 ranking. So let's talk actually about the capital, Lisbon. Lisbon is the capital and is the largest city, of course, with an estimated population of about 500,000 people. It is mainland Europe westernmost capital city, and the only one along the Atlantic coast. Lisbon lies in the western Iberian Peninsula on the Atlantic Ocean and the river Tagus. Lisbon is recognized as the alpha level global city because of its importance in finance, commerce, media, entertainment, arts, international trade, education and tourism. And what else? Lisbon is one of the two Portuguese cities alongside Porto to be recognized as a global city. And it is also one of the major economic centers of the continent, with a growing financial sector and one of the largest container port on European Atlantic coast, of course. Lisbon is also one of the oldest cities. As you may recall, I told you that Portugal is one of the oldest nation and in the world, and actually is the second oldest European capital after Athens, Greece, the capital of Greece. And in the 2017 it was ranked in the top 10 as most visited city in the southern Europe, with more than 3,300,000 tourists. So let's finally get to talk about Belem Tower, one of Portugal and more precisely Lisbon attraction and landmarks. Officially, the Tower of São Vicente, Portuguese Torre de São Vicente, is a 16th century fortification located in Lisbon that served both as a fortress and as a ceremonial getaway to Lisbon. Built during the height of the Portuguese Renaissance, and it is a prominent example of the Portuguese Manueline style. It also incorporates hints of other architectural styles like Arabic, and you will see later what I'm talking about. The structure was built from Lyons limestones, and it is composed of a bastion and a 30 meters, about 100 feet, 4-story tower. Along with the Geronimus Monastery since 1983, the tower has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site, also portrayed as a symbol of Europe's age of discoveries and as a metronym for Portugal or Lisbon, and it was the reason why it received the landmark status. The Belem Tower is located, as I told you before, in the northern bank of the Tagus River, in the civil parish of Santa Maria de Belem, that is in Lisbon, and is accessible at the western end of the Avenida de Brasilia by a small bridge. The Belem Tower was built from a beige-white limestone that is local to Lisbon area and thereabouts called Lyons. The buildings is divided into two parts, the bastion and the 4-story tower, located on the north side of the bastion. The 16th century tower is considered one of the principal work of the Portuguese late Gothic manual style. This is especially apparent in its elaborate rib vaulting, crosses of the Order of Christ, armillary spheres and twisted rope, common to the nautically inspired organic manual line style. You heard about it a few times, so if you didn't know, the manual style or Portuguese late Gothic is the sometimes composite Portuguese style of the architectural ornamentation of the first decades of the 16th century, so incorporating maritime elements and the representation of the discoveries brought from the voyages made in the Age of Discoveries. The building's plan consists of a rectangular tower and an irregular hexagonal bastion with elongated flanks that projects south into the river. On the northeast angle of the structure, protected by a defensive wall with partisans, is a drawbridge to access the bulwark, decorated with plant motifs, surmounted by the royal coat of arms and flanked by small columns. It is also completed with the armillary spheres. The decorative carved twisted rope and elegant notes also point to Portugal's nautical history and are more common elements of the manual line style. On the outside of the lower bastion, the walls have space for 17 cannons, with the embrasures affording a view of the river. The upper tier of the bastions is crowned by a small wall with the partisans in strategic places, decorated by a rounded shield with the cross of the Order of Christ encircled to platform. Predominantly manual in style, it also incorporates features of other architectural style. The Belem Tower was built by the military architect Francisco de Arruda, who had already supervised the construction of several fortresses in Portuguese territories in Morocco, and so the influence of Moorish architecture is manifested in the delicate decoration, the arched windows, the balconies, and the ribbed cupolas and the watchtowers. About the interior, I believe you should visit it yourself. So before leaving, I'm gonna show you some few shots of Lisbon and its main landmarks and attractions. So enjoy it. We took together a fast look of Belem Tower, and so I thank you for watching, and hopefully you will get the chance to visit Belem Tower yourself, along with Lisbon and the main attraction of Portugal. So what to say? See you next week, and don't forget, let's make together a better world.